Order. Since I came to this House 30 years ago, I have always felt that the House is at its best when it is united. In order that unity can be maintained, I have decided that I will relinquish the office of Speaker on Sunday, 21st of June. This will allow the House to proceed to elect a new Speaker on Monday, 22nd of June. That is all I have to say on this matter. Order. Questions to the Secretary of State for Foreign and Commonwealth Affairs. Bob Spink.
Number one, sir.
Mr. Speaker, the whole House will respect your wish that we proceed with our business today. We shall make our tributes at a later date. Current negotiations represent the best opportunity for Cypriots to reunify Cyprus. We fully support the courageous efforts of the two leaders. Their joint commitment is a key strength of this process. They have made steady progress, but it is important that momentum is increased. A settlement will deliver major economic, social and political benefits for all Cypriots.
Bob Spink.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wonder if the Home Secretary would like to join with me the Foreign Secretary would care to join with me in paying the warmest possible tribute to you, sir, and thanking you for your service to this House and to this country over many years. A very honourable service. And I thank you myself personally, Mr. Speaker. Foreign Minister, recent research shows that the majority of both Greek and Turkish Cypriots want their respective leaders to reach a mutually acceptable settlement through the current peace process. What can you do to help them to succeed? Because that would not only be in the interests of everybody on the island, but it would also be very much in the interests of Turkey, particularly given their ambitions to join the European Union.
Mr. Speaker, I fear that some of what I said at the beginning may have been lost in the hubbub, but I'm sure the House will fully respect your wish that we save our tributes for a future date and that we proceed with our business today. In respect of the honourable gentleman's question, he is, of course, right that the spirit of dedication to solving the Cyprus problem that has been evident in the 28 meetings between the two leaders is precisely the sort of determination that we need. There will need to be compromises on all sides, and I will be taking forward the government's determination to help promote a solution in my meetings with the Cypriot Foreign Minister later on today.
Mr. Leopard.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I also add my tribute to you, to those that have already been expressed. The Foreign Minister will know that one of the abiding problems in Cyprus is the issue of property rights and property ownership. In the light of the judgment by the European Court of Human Justice in April on the case brought by Mr. Apostolides, would he consider, if he has not done so already, revising information on the Foreign and Commonwealth Office website to ensure that anyone contemplating buying property in northern Cyprus realises that there are dangers in that, and they may well be buying what many would consider to be stolen property?
Well, Mr. Speaker, I think that the Foreign Office guidance speaks to the unique circumstances that exist in Cyprus at the moment and sets out for anyone interested in property in that area some of the issues or all of the issues that are at stake. I think it's important to say in respect of the so-called Orum's judgment that this is now going to the Court of Appeal, and so it's important that we as politicians are careful about what we say on this subject. What I can say, however, is that all of the developments point to the need for leaders from both communities to get to grips with the need for a political settlement, including on the vital property issue. And it is that I will be urging on all players in this important question.
Sir Malcolm Rifkin.
Will the Foreign Secretary accept that the European Union made a historic mistake in accepting Cyprus as a member, while the island remained deeply divided between its Greek and Turkish communities? Did this not help the Greek Cypriots in their decision to reject the Annan Peace Plan in 2004? And will the Foreign Secretary agree that lessons have to be learnt from this with regard to any future applications for membership from countries such as Kosovo, Bosnia or republics in the Caucasus?
Well, Mr. Speaker, I certainly believe that lessons should be learned from previous enlargement, the biggest lesson is that enlargement has made the European Union stronger, not weaker. And I think it is important, as we look at the cases of Kosovo and others that he's mentioned, that we remember the force of the European Union as a power for stability as well as democracy on its eastern borders. I certainly also recognise that it's vital that the European Union play its role in ensuring that all understand that now is the best opportunity that has ever existed since the 1970s for a proper settlement in Cyprus, and that's certainly what we are dedicated to and what I believe the rest of the European Union is dedicated to as well.
Hughes.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful. Will the Foreign Secretary accept that, given that, as he says, there is the best prospect now of a solution because of both sides being willing to continue the talks, that neither side should be deflected by any interpretation of either the election results in the north of the island or on the mainland of Turkey in the local elections? And can he assure us that the European Union and the UN will make this the priority which it doesn't appear to have been in recent years?
Well, Mr. Speaker, I think it's important, if I may say so, to go beyond what the Right Honourable Gentleman has said. I think there needs to be new and extra momentum in the drive for a settlement, precisely because this is the year when a settlement needs to be made. The UN Special Representative, former Foreign Minister of Australia, Alexander Downer, reported to the Security Council on the 30th of April. I think that the message that went out from that meeting very clearly from all members of the Security Council was that all sides needed to recognise their responsibility now to make sure that the second round of talks that are just about to restart really do engage the spirit of compromise that is going to be essential if this opportunity is to be grasped. That's something that I don't believe is interfered with by election results in any part of that region. And I think that the statements from Turkey as well as from Mr. Talat speak to that point.
Mr. Dismore.
Friend will know that one of the big issues is the presence of Turkish troops in Cyprus. Is he aware that UNFICYP have estimated the true number of Turkish troops to be in the low 20,000s, not the high 30s that are estimated or pronounced by both sides? Would my friend agree that one of the best things that could be done would be for Turkey to come clean about the actual number of troops, which is far lower than they claim, as one of the confidence-building measures that are desperately needed in the island to maintain confidence while the news blackout and the talks proceeds?
Very good.
Well, Mr. Speaker, it's certainly the case that there needs to be proper transparency on all sides, and this is something that I discussed with the Turkish European Union negotiator when he visited London 2 weeks ago. I think it's important that we keep the rhetoric down, that we keep asserting that we want to facilitate and support a settlement that is agreed on by the communities in Cyprus, and certainly I think it's important that all the regional powers play their contribution. But transparency and clarity is going to be vital at every stage.
Mr. Keys.
Will the Foreign Secretary confirm that it's necessary to apply all possible assistance to this process, because it's not just for the people of Cyprus it's important also for the people of Turkey and Greece, both of whom we need in NATO, and also for countries like Macedonia and the other Balkan states who are pursuing resolutions of ancient conflicts?
Yeah, yeah.
Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Gentleman makes a very, very important point. This continued conflict is not just a problem for the residents of Cyprus. It blocks the sort of cooperation that's going to be essential, not just in NATO, but in the EU as well, an EU which I believe, which the government believes, needs to include Turkey. I think that's the position of the official opposition and the Liberal Democrats also on this issue. And certainly that is a very good reason to dedicate ourselves very, very strongly. There's a further reason, however, which I think is important, which is that the status quo is not really sustainable. The status quo is not a basis for long-term resolution. The basis for long-term resolution is the sort of political settlement that I think on all sides of the House people recognise, honourable members recognise, is absolutely essential.
O'Hara.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank my right honourable friend for what he says. I agree with all he says about the need for a solution in Cyprus. I hear what he says about talking to the Turkish Foreign Minister. Would you agree with me that although the solution must come through direct negotiations between the two sides, Greek Cypriot and Turkish Cypriot, in Cyprus, the real key to the solution is in Ankara? And can he tell us what he's doing actively to persuade Turkey that they must use their influence or stop using their influence negatively and use their influence positively to effect a solution in Cyprus.
Mr. Speaker, my honourable friend speaks with a lot of experience and expertise on this question. I think the fairest thing to say is it takes two to tango, and it's going to need not just the Turkish Cypriots and the Turkish government, it's also going to need the Greek Cypriots and the Greek government to support this outcome. And all of our diplomacy, my honourable friend, the Minister for Europe, has visited Cyprus twice. I will be visiting Turkey and Greece at the end of this month. All of our efforts are dedicated to ensure that there is genuine compromise, because that is the only way in which this problem is going to be resolved. No one wants a repeat of the referendum result in the south of the island from 2004, and that's why we're working for a solution.
Jeffrey Clifton Brown.